Tonight, bearing the brunt of our beef with China, thousands of jobs facing the axe as struggling Queensland towns end up the meat between an international political sandwich. The pubs with free beer. The Premier gets the frothies flowing to the outback as she tries to turn the taps off on the integrity scandal. A high price to pay for camping out in COVID lockdown. The group busted and fined by police. Councils recruited to enforce social distancing and they've been given special powers to get the job done. And praise from the palace. The Queensland nurses recognised by the Royals for a job well done.
This is 10 News First Queensland with Georgina Lewis.
Good evening. As we go to air tonight, thousands of Queensland jobs are at risk as fears of an escalating trade war with China intensifies. Urgent talks are being sought with our largest trading partner after beef exports were blocked from 3 major Queensland abattoirs. Brendan Savage joins us now from Kilcoy. Brendan, this would be more pain for a town already struggling under the coronavirus pandemic.
Yes, the little shops and cafes on Kilcoy's main drag are already feeling the pinch thanks to the COVID-19 restrictions, and it's likely the consumer confidence is only going to dip further. The meatworks here is the region's largest employers, or one of the region's largest employers. It injects around $1.5 million in wages into the local economy each week. So everybody here is really worried about what these trade tensions will mean for their livelihoods. The cattle trucks are still rolling into Kilcoy, but where the red meat will go now is anyone's guess after the abattoir was slapped with an import ban by China. It's the town's largest employer, 1,200 jobs now at stake.
And it would be devastating, in my view, devastating if all this goes ahead. More
than a third of Australia's beef exports to China come from the blacklisted meatworks in Kilcoy, Dinmore, Toowoomba and Casino. Exports now in limbo after China also flagged plans to introduce an 80% tariff on Australian barley. The coronavirus has already hit Kilcoy's retail trade hard. Shopkeepers say the last thing the town needs is more uncertainty.
It would be a big impact, onto small businesses.
China says the ban is over labelling issues, but many believe it's in retaliation to the Prime Minister's call for an inquiry into the origins of the COVID-19 outbreak. And now a Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman has specifically accused Australia of using the epidemic to engage in political manipulation. Canberra is seeking urgent talks with our biggest international beef customer, and so far they've failed to pick up the phone.
We're going to keep doing everything we possibly can.
Premier Palaszczuk writing to the Trade Minister and Scott Morrison seeking a quick resolution.
And if we go into a full-blown trade war, this could mean over 3,200 workers impacted. This is really serious.
But experts say that could be months away.
By the time you get the right people talking and you get the right decision and they work out what they're doing and a way forward that both sides can win, it can be a couple of months, unfortunately.
With beef Queensland's largest agricultural export, that's time we simply can't afford to lose. The Meat Industry Employees Union says right now it's business as usual at these meatworks, and it's confident that they'll be able to find new markets for their products in the short term. But obviously the employees here will be keeping a very close eye on the argy-bargy between the two countries, hoping for a swift resolution.
No doubt. Thank you, Brendan, live there in Kilcoy. There's a new twist tonight in the integrity crisis dogging the Palaszczuk government. Text messages released under Right to Information reveal the close contact between Jackie Trad and an Education Department executive who has now been stood aside.
Liquid gold bound for the bush. 3,000 litres of free beer stacked, packed and heading for the outback where restrictions on pubs are easing.
Blackall, Barcaldine, Ilfracombe, Longreach, and the list is endless. and the pubs are ready.
But the Premier couldn't turn off the leaking tap of information about her former Deputy Premier. Text messages obtained under Right to Information revealed Jackie Trad communicating with a senior Education Department official. He has now been stood aside as the CCC investigates allegations of corrupt conduct over the recruitment process of a new school principal in the South Brisbane electorate. The messages from April last year don't relate to that, but the opposition insists it shows the pair had close contact because Jackie Trad signed off a message, "Thank you, X."
The text messages that we have seen shows a very cosy relationship. When you put a little cross at the end of your text message, that'll give a fair indication that you're very close to that human being.
There is more messages, but they've been redacted because the material was deemed confidential.
What was being discussed in relation to budget considerations? What was being discussed that was subject to cabinet confidentiality?
I don't know the circumstances there, Josh, so they're matters for her.
The opposition is putting more pressure on Grace as well. They want the Education Minister to reveal what she knew about the recruitment process of that principal.
I stand by that statement the Minister has put out.
The Minister maintains the selection of the principal was independent from her or her office.
Well, let's go straight to John Paul Gonzo now at State Parliament. JP, you have an update on cases for us.
Georgie, some more good news on the health front today. There was only one additional coronavirus case confirmed. This was a patient who contracted it interstate. That's where they were diagnosed and where they were treated. They have now recovered. Technically, this means it's another day with no new cases. Our state's total has been revised up to 1,052. This is very promising ahead of the weekend where more restrictions will be eased already. We've seen an influx of people at our borders. Yesterday alone at our domestic airports, 799 passengers arrived. Half of those were put into quarantine. Only one was refused entry. Georgie?
Thank you, JP. A group of campers has been busted flouting lockdown orders on a secluded North Queensland island. Joe Hill joins us now with the details. Joe, they were a long way from home.
Yes, Georgie, these men were picked up on Brisk Island, which is near Palm Island off Townsville, but two of them that were caught are from West End in Brisbane. So they're about 1,500 kilometres too far from home. Their camp appeared to be very well established, but police said it's not clear how long the four of them had been there. Officers had just been on routine patrols when they noticed a small fishing boat on the sand, and that's what led them to the campsite. Now, all of the Palm Island Council area is a designated biosecurity area, which means it's off limits anyway during the lockdown. So the four men have all been fined for failing to comply with the Chief Health Officer's directions. Georgie, that brings our tally for infringements past 2.5 million since the outbreak began.
Thank you, Joe, with that update. With restaurants, cafes and beauty salons set to reopen, council workers have been recruited to help enforce social distancing rules. And they've been given special powers by the state government for the job. Samantha Butler joins us now. Sam, exactly what can these council officers do?
Well, Georgie, they're not police, so they can't move or arrest people, but they can issue infringement notices, including those $1,300 fines we've seen dished out to individuals not abiding by restrictions. Council's role will primarily be to educate small businesses and help those in breach of regulations to remedy the situation. The Local Government Association admits the extra responsibility will come with challenges for councils, including the additional cost of staffing, with much of the work being carried out on weekends and outside of normal business hours.
All the mayors I've spoken to say yes, it's going to be an extra burden on them, but they want to be part of the recovery and get things moving as fast as we can.
Georgie, councils have only had a week's notice to gear up for this new role, with some 30,000 restaurants, cafes and beauty salons around the state. Let's hope everyone is on their best behaviour.
Yeah, big weekend ahead. Thank you, Sam. The Prime Minister sounded almost upbeat today about COVID-19, but it's hard to see why. While his Treasurer may have tested negative, Scott Morrison copped a barrage of questions about the JobKeeper payments.
After yesterday's bad news economic update, today the PM used question time to focus on the good news coming out of the COVID crisis, beyond the Treasurer not catching it.
I have confidence in this country, and I believe this country will bounce back.
The government staying glass half full.
With the success that Australians have been able to achieve.
Times of adversity, Australians often shine.
The JobKeeper package, according to Ashley Malcolm, has helped save their business.
But the opposition was having none of it, zeroing in on problems with the package.
Can the Treasurer explain why a university student working a $100 shift per week receives the full $1,500 JobKeeper wage subsidy?
What?
But their full-time university tutor with 3 kids to support is not eligible?
The Treasurer might have preferred to self-isolate than have to try to answer that.
Can the Treasurer explain why an 18-year-old living at home who's been working a shift a week at a McDonald's franchise receives the full $1,500 JobKeeper wage subsidy?
No way!
But a full-time Australian worker at Donata, providing catering services to Qantas with a mortgage to repay, is not eligible.
That's even harder to explain. While the COVID crisis remains front and centre, there are signs lingering scandals from before it started are back on the agenda. Sports rorts reared its ugly head again, following suggestions the PM may have authorised parts of the program.
The only authority sought from the Prime Minister's office and from myself, Mr Speaker, was in relation to announcements.
The PM only offering marketing tips, leaving questions Scott Morrison would rather avoid.
It's good to see that the Canberra Press Gallery is back to politics as usual with Parliament coming back. Yeah, thank you. I've answered your question. I said no.
Political editor Peter Van Onselen joins me. Peter, it seems like Canberra is getting back to normal today.
It certainly is. No more bipartisanship, at least when it comes to a series of issues that are now getting raised throughout question time. Obviously, sports rorts is on the agenda. I'm expecting Angus Taylor's issues to get raised in question time tomorrow. But the big one is very much on the focus around JobKeeper. The government, they're really under pressure, I have to say, to make some changes to the program. You saw from the package a number of inconsistencies with the way it's applied. Labor intends to pursue that not just for the remainder of this week, but in the weeks and possibly months to come.
Thank you, Peter, in Canberra. Another passenger from the Ruby Princess cruise ship has succumbed to corona. The 81-year-old woman passed away in New South Wales and is the 22nd person to die from the ship.
The issues around anybody passing away on the Ruby Princess, from the Ruby Princess are extremely sad. The truth of the matter is the cruise industry right around the world had massive issues.
It's the first COVID-19 death to be reported in Australia in a week. The national toll is now 98. America's top doctor has again contradicted Donald Trump, telling a Senate hearing the country's corona outbreak is not under control. Anthony Fauci also warned of serious consequences from reopening too early as new hotspots emerge.
A warning from America's top infectious disease doctor: don't reopen too soon.
I feel if that occurs, there is a real risk that you will trigger an outbreak that you may not be able to control.
Dr. Anthony Fauci under quarantine himself, contradicting President Donald Trump's claim that the worst has passed.
We have met the moment, and we have prevailed.
It was an unusual Senate hearing, dogs and all, though the Republicans were doing all the hounding.
And as much as I respect you, Dr. Fauci, I don't think you're the end all. I don't think you're the one person that gets to make a decision.
Fauci bit back.
I'm a scientist, a physician, and a public health official. I give advice according to the best scientific evidence. We don't know everything about this virus, and we really better be very careful.
And this is what the evidence says. New hotspots are sprouting up. In Tennessee and Kansas, some counties have recorded a 1,000% spike in a week, while LA is listening, extending its lockdown for 3 more months. New York City may never be the same again too. Today, executives at 3 of the largest commercial tenants, JP Morgan Chase, Barclays and Morgan Stanley, all indicated that it's highly unlikely any of their workers will ever return to their Manhattan offices. Why pay rent when working from home works? Great for companies, terrible for restaurants and bars that'll depend on the after-work trade to have a future. Eamon Ashton-Atkinson for 10 News First, New York.
Coming up, the Gold Coast bridge bandit at the centre of a tradie's citizen's arrest in court. Why a magistrate says no one is safe from him. Also, the citywide carjacking crime that ended in the perfect place. Plus, a Mayday mission to put Brisbane's new runway to the test. And the hits keep coming for Nathan Cleary after more details emerge of his TikTok night out.
It looks like a nice and easy mystery box.
There's nothing unusual.
But don't be fooled.
There will be a twist. There will be a twist. You're joking. No. What the hell?
The mystery box twist tonight on 10. Then the biggest twist of all.
Katy Perry! Let's go!
7:30 tomorrow.
Hi, Chris. As one of our Care Super members, let's go see your super at work. Hold on. I'll show you some of the opportunities and possibilities that are being explored for you. Your super should work as hard as you do, so we're making sure it does.
Bluey McDonald with 32 items in the Forgotta grocery bag lifting.
He's brought home the chockies with the milk, the bread, the bog roll, and saved himself 45 cents.
Another make it look easy moment from Sportsbet.
Get AHM hospital cover from only $15.75 a week. Yay. It's that easy, so you can get back to doing whatever it is you like to do. Even that. Find out more and join AHM Direct today. AHM, the simple bit.
Go ahead, give your taste buds a thrill and think beyond the flame and grill. Sausage bake, rolled, pan-fried or in a stew. You'll love all the things our sausages can do. The British Sausage, Ham and Bacon Company. Australian made, the British way.
You wash loads, but do you ever wash your washing machine? Every load leaves behind grime and, what's that smell? Pino Clean Washing Machine Cleaner removes 99.9% of germs, leaving it clean and fresh for longer. It's not clean, unless it's Pino Clean.
You know, I found a dead body yesterday. Damn, these white girls love trouble.
No mercy for an honest man.
Trisha Jane Doe, Isla Bay in Provincetown. Gun shop.
No angels have I.
These are bad people. Stay away from my case.
I could have saved this girl. There's only one person you need to save.
Watch out. Tide's coming in.
The brand new series, Hightown, now streaming only on Stan.
This Saturday with Sportsbet at 3 tracks for races 1 to 6. Finish second or third and get up to $50 back in bonus bets.
So be as responsibly with Sportsbet. We'll be watching.
Where's the baby?
The police are looking for him.
Who stole him?
Somebody who was very lonely because they couldn't have a baby. Do you want to say hello to your little boy?
He looks like me.
My baby could be anywhere. Do something about it.
The police have made the call to release this CCTV footage to the media.
Well, that's a good thing, right?
We don't want her to panic.
The secrets she keeps tonight after MasterChef.
Well, good afternoon. Some good conditions on the gateway heading northbound this afternoon from Nudgee up towards the Bruce Highway. Bribie Island Road, well, that's another story with a two-car head-on crash here just around Old Torble Point Road as you come through Caboolture. Now, it's a very fast stretch of road, this, and only one lane going in each direction. Looks like someone tried to turn across there. A two-car head-on accident at the moment. Got some big delays eastbound because currently eastbound is blocked and delays pretty much all the way back almost to the Bruce Highway. No delays westbound. That traffic is getting diverted. I'm Dave Andrews. Thanks to Australian Pork. And Georgie, I'll check the roads again for you later. Meantime, it's back to you.
We'll see you soon. Thanks, Dave. A Gold Coast fugitive crash tackled by a tradie walking his dog has fronted Southport Court. Akin Sen was arrested 2 months ago after taking police on a wild chase in a stolen car. But the 41-year-old's crime spree came to an end thanks to a citizen's arrest as he tried to make a run for it. Today, he pleaded guilty to 81 charges, including dangerous operation of a motor vehicle, drug possession and 37 counts of fraud. The magistrate sentenced him to 18 months jail, saying his wild driving put lives at risk. A bizarre high-speed chase has come to a crashing end in Adelaide. A couple who allegedly abducted and stabbed a 70-year-old woman after carjacking a chauffeur-driven vehicle led officers on a city-wide pursuit. The man and woman made a pit stop at a friend's house who was shocked to discover the bleeding victim in the car. He says his mate was behaving strangely over the past few days.
He came to me with some strange story, offered me money to take the spell of him. I believe that he believes in the black magic or something.
The chase ended when the car crashed into police headquarters. The injured woman, believed to be a relative, is being treated in hospital. Australia's Chief Medical Officer is warning the world hasn't seen the worst of the COVID-19 nightmare. He says it's critical Australia stays on top of the virus or risk another lockdown.
We have a roadmap out.
That's the plan for taking us forward.
But it's by no means an easy escape.
Nobody in the world knows the road out of this. That's why we're very closely watching what happens as restrictions are released.
The Chief Medical Officer today questioned about the very real threat of losing the big gains we've made.
Is there a trigger for which restrictions will come back in?
There is no one trigger. Well, total case numbers is not necessarily a trigger. It's the capacity to control the outbreaks that's the defining thing that we're watching.
Also being watched closely is the Kawasaki illness. The PM has ordered an urgent investigation into the mysterious COVID-19 linked virus, which only affects children.
Because it's so rare, it's unlikely to be seen in Australia, but we've got alerts on it and we're clearly watching it.
Professor Murphy telling a Senate committee that globally the worst of coronavirus is still ahead of us, which is why international travel won't be allowed anytime soon.
We're in a good position, but only, as I said to Senator Di Natale, we'll be able to maintain that by keeping strong border measures.
And as leading health experts suggest, financial distress and isolation could lead to more deaths than the virus itself, the government has appointed its first Deputy Chief Medical Officer for Mental Health to lead a new pandemic plan.
To help save lives and protect lives during what is a difficult period.
Not just now, but in the months and years ahead. Amber Austin-Wright for 10 News First.
Hundreds of tourists and returning travellers have been released from 14 days quarantine on a WA island. Natalie Forrest joins us now live from Fremantle, south of Perth. Nat, some are still facing an uncertain wait to return home.
Yeah, that's right, Georgie. It was quite the ordeal just to secure these flights from South Africa last month. Now they're facing the dilemma of how to get from Western Australia back to their home states with very limited flights available. Now, the passengers were ferried here to Fremantle this morning after spending 2 weeks isolated in chalets on Rottnest Island, which really isn't a tough way to do your quarantine. Now, they were given their first taste of freedom today before 130 of the passengers were bundled onto buses and then sent to city hotels where they will have to stay until their flights can be arranged to get them back to their individual cities. But I have to say, most that we spoke to today were just grateful to be a step closer to their loved ones.
I just want to get home, and I think that's when I'll actually, then I'll feel much better being at home.
This is the perfect birthday present for her, yeah.
Let out, set free on my birthday.
Yeah.
I think 14 days is just long enough.
I got a 4-year-old boy. I missed his birthday, so that sucks. So I have to do something for him when when I get back home.
Now, the repatriation effort has been quite costly and continues to be. WA taxpayers will continue to pay for the accommodation while these passengers wait in their hotels, while the state government has also paid for a travel agent to help them secure those flights. But their ordeal is far from over because it's very likely they'll have to serve another isolation period when they do get home. Georgie?
Thank you, Nat, live there in Fremantle. The people first on the scene when things go terribly wrong have been put through their paces at Brisbane Airport. As Tim Collins reports, the brand new second runway was the scene of a simulated plane crash.
Here's the scenario. A flight from Singapore's Changi Airport with 156 passengers on board. It's crashed on Brisbane's new second runway. What happens next? That's what today's disaster simulation's all about, putting every emergency response agency through their paces, with lives theoretically on the line.
Everybody move this way, over to the grass. Everybody over to the grass.
So we've got a triage area set up either side of each of the vehicles.
Yep. Do our job properly when required, and what comes out of it we can only improve on.
COVID-19 restrictions has greatly wound back a lot of the realism, such as crash victims dead and injured on scene. But the pressure on the first responders to get it right is still there.
But what we want to see today is the command control coordination through our agencies.
The airport's fire service hit the tarmac running from its brand new multi-million-dollar station not far away.
Quickest time from here to a crash site, we will do it under 3 minutes.
Despite a lack of any realism during this exercise today, these first responders know they can't waste the opportunity to put their training to the test during the simulation, knowing it's the first and last exercise of its type before the new runway opens in mid-July.
Well, time now for an early weather check. Josh, a fine day for the southeast.
Yes, it was, Georgie. We had a beautiful day outside, a mixture of sunshine, a little bit of cloud cover as well, and we do have an approaching weather system, a trough of low pressure and a cold front passing through southeastern Australia, but relatively clear skies for the best part of today across a large portion of the state, although we did get some showers continuing just a little bit further south of Cairns. We're at about 34 millimetres recorded into the rain gauges close to Innisfail. Not that much rain across the southeast, though. We do have some isolated showers across the southern downs this evening. We'll look at that a little bit later. Today in Brisbane, though, we hit a top of 24 degrees, 23 at the top at the sunny coast, 24 degrees at the Gold Coast and 25 degrees at Ipswich. A little bit cooler out on the Darling Downs for Toowoomba, hitting tops of 20 degrees for Wednesday. But of course, I'll be back at 5 to 6 with all the week's weather details. Georgie?
Look forward to it. Thanks, Josh. Ahead, the computer hack that's left some of the world's biggest stars exposed. Also, foamy waters prove fatal for several surfers near a Dutch beach resort. And the royal call some Queensland nurses will never forget.
With so many deliciously easy recipes to try, you'll never get bored when there's pork on your fork.
It looks like a nice and easy mystery box.
There's nothing unusual.
But don't be fooled.
There will be a twist. There will be a twist.
You're joking.
No.
What the hell?
The Mystery Box Twist on 10.
It continues 7:30 tonight.
HESTA is a super fund that supports people whose work helps others. Their stories inspire us to give them a stronger financial future and a better world to retire into. It's our way of saying thank you.
Let's do it, baby. It's on, mate.
Make this week one to remember. Run second, third or even fourth and get money back in bonus up to $50 on selected races every day. PointsBet.
Looking for a simple way to help maintain strong bones? Try Ostalin from Chemist Warehouse. Ostalin Calcium and Vitamin D3 helps increase calcium intake and absorption, while a daily dose of Ostalin Vitamin D3 1000 IU promotes calcium absorption and helps keep muscles and bones strong. Right now at Chemist Warehouse, Ostalin value packs are only $24.99 each. Choose Ostalin, Australia's #1 bone health brand. Live, look, feel well at Chemist Warehouse.
Smartly monitor and track physical distancing at work with the new i2 Safe app. With smart monitoring Bluetooth, the app tracks work at distance to ensure a safe work environment. App access available soon. Register your interest today at cloud2k.com/i2safe.
Go on.
At Devondale, we believe great milk comes from cows that graze free.
Get 50 months interest free now at Harvey Norman. That's no deposit, no interest with 50 equal monthly payments until July 2024. Our spacious stores are open, or you can shop online from home with both click and collect and delivery available. Shop for essentials like fridges, washers, air purifiers, laptops, headphones, home office, mattresses, sofa beds and more. And take advantage of 50 months interest free. That's no deposit, no interest with 50 equal monthly payments until July 2024. Shop in store or shop online now at Harvey Norman.
Felix, my ribbon. You clever cat. You want your doubly delicious.
2 irresistible flavours in one delicious meal. Felix as good as it looks, doubly delicious. Double the flavour, double the taste.
Let's do it, baby. It's on, mate.
Make this Saturday one to remember. Get best tote on all exotics on every race across all Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane and Adelaide races. PointsBet.
Meatballs, meat, streaky bacon. Meatballs and streaky bacon, meat mozzarella. Meatballs, streaky bacon and mozzarella, meat melt. Meet the meatball melt with streaky bacon. Now, meat mouth.
Someone has taken my baby.
The police have made the call to release this CCTV footage.
Well, that's a good thing, right?
We don't want her to panic.
The secret she keeps on 10 continues tonight after MasterChef.
You're watching 10 News First. At least 5 experienced surfers have drowned in a storm off the coast of The Hague in the Netherlands. Dutch authorities say the men aged between 22 and 38 went into the water on Monday evening. Attempts to rescue the group were hampered by waist-deep sea foam churned up in wild weather. It's feared there will be more victims, with the Coast Guard discovering more surfboards than bodies. Newborns, mothers and nurses have died in a day of devastating violence in Afghanistan. Several gunmen stormed a maternity ward in the capital, killing 16 people and injuring 15 others. Further east, a suicide bomber targeted a funeral, claiming the lives of at least 24 mourners. The attacks have dealt another blow to the US Taliban peace deal. Madonna, Lady Gaga and Elton John are among the stars who may have had their private information leaked after hackers targeted a top US law firm. Cybercriminals claim they've stolen nearly 800 gigabytes of confidential data from Grubman Shire, Mizellas and Saks. It's believed emails and contracts were taken in the breach. It's not known if the company is negotiating with the attackers. The royal family has sent well wishes and thanks around the world to mark International Nurses Day. Among them were 3 health workers in remote Queensland who received a very special video call.
Starting with the Queen herself.
Good afternoon, Your Majesty. Good afternoon. This is rather an important day. Oh, it is. It's quite special, the International Nurses Day.
The royals hit the phones to say thanks.
It's amazing that you're able to still continue the support and the care that you would normally provide, even under these really difficult circumstances.
And I want to wish Happy International Nurses Day for all of us.
Nurses throughout the Commonwealth joined in video calls with the royals, including a group working in Mornington, around 1,800 kilometres northwest of Brisbane.
We'd love to hear what it's like on the ground.
It's been as hectic as it has been around the world, I would say.
In the emergency department, obviously stepping up our protocols and guidelines.
I hope you're feeling some of the love as well.
We're feeling the love.
This army nurse in Cyprus nearly landed his former partner the gig of a lifetime.
My ex-wife's a school teacher, so she's keeping him busy.
Oh, they're in good hands. Be careful, she's about to be recruited from... I'd quite like her to come and help you.
The calls were a much-needed morale booster for those on the front line of the coronavirus fight.
Thank you all so much for the diligence and courage that you have shown.
And will no doubt continue to show. Joe Hill for 10 News First.
Stay with us. Tonight's top stories follow the break. Also, the fast and furious drivers on a death wish. And into the wild, rare loggerheads released after a surprise appearance on the Gold Coast.
Tonight, China boycotts Aussie beef as tensions escalate. There's a full-blown trade war on the way.
We recognise the delivery drivers who make sure we have everything we need while we stay at home.
And MasterChef favourite Amina is joining us after
an extremely emotional elimination. I didn't cry.
You did?
It was only when they were chopping the onions, Carrot.
No, it wasn't. You were like floods of tears.
Well, that's more coming up at 6:30.
You weren't even there.
It looks like a nice and easy mystery box.
There's nothing unusual.
But don't be fooled.
There will be a twist. There will be a twist.
You're joking.
No.
What the hell?
The mystery box twist tonight on 10.
Thanks to Light and Easy, Australians of all ages can enjoy their choice of delicious, nutritious meals in the comfort and safety of their own home. Especially those at a greater health risk during these times. If you or someone close to you could benefit by having Light and Easy meals delivered safely with our contactless delivery service, visit lightandeasy.com.au or call us on 13 15 12.
Do it, baby. It's on, mate.
Make this Saturday one to remember. Get best tote on all exotics on every race across all Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane and Adelaide races. PointsBet.
Save 20% on your second policy when you buy new, eligible Suncorp home and car insurance together before July 10. Helping you save when you need it most. That's the Suncorp spirit.
Do hay fever allergies prevent you from enjoying your day? Try the new look Telfast from Chemist Warehouse. It's the same 5-in-1 formula that works fast, is non-drowsy and gives effective 24-hour multi-symptom hay fever allergy relief, giving you the freedom to get on with your day. Right now at Chemist Warehouse, Telfast 180mg 70 tablets are $29.99. Breakthrough hay fever allergies with Telfast, Australia's #1 allergy brand. Live, look, feel well at Chemist Warehouse.
A promise is something Brighton Homes have always taken seriously. They're committed to building homes that let life in. But right now, a promise is more important than ever. Brighton promises that their homes will still embrace the best in Queensland living, with flexible deposit conditions and a price hold of up to 20 months. Plus, with a considerate cashback of up to 30 grand, you know the future is better with Brighton.
I want you on my side. Be greedy, be hungry.
He's not capable of alliance.
I am a monster.
The brand new season of Billions, now streaming only on Stan.
Do it, baby. It's on, mate.
Make this week one to remember. Run second, third or even fourth and get money back in bonus up to $50 on selected races every day. PointsBet.
Australians of all ages are choosing Light and Easy. Light and Easy can even assist those on aged care home care packages. If you or someone close to you could benefit by having healthy meals delivered, call us on 13 15 12.
Introducing BP Rewards. Now you can earn points with every BP purchase.
BP Rewards.
Use BP points to spend in store.
BP Rewards.
Or get dollars off fuel.
BP Rewards. BP Rewards.
Or you can choose to earn Qantas points.
Now that's what I call BP Rewards.
Totally BP Rewards.
Start earning today. BP Rewards. Your rewards, your way.
Hello again as we get set to wrap things up tonight. A couple of things to watch out for. We've got a car that went into someone's front yard, knocked over the gate as well. That's on Caboolture River Road through Upper Caboolture. And also some big delays still on the Bribie Island Road run, almost from the Bruce Highway all the way through to Old Torbell Point Road where we had a two-car head-on accident earlier this afternoon. That is still right in the middle of the intersection as they get that one cleared away. We've still got some big delays trying to sort themselves out both directions. I'm Dave Andrews. Thanks to Australian Pork. Have a good night. See you tomorrow.
Tonight's top stories, thousands of abattoir jobs on the line as Queensland towns get caught in the middle of Australia's beef with China. Here's Cheers. The Premier sends beer to the outback, but turning the taps off on the integrity scandal is proving more of a challenge. And police pounce on a North Queensland island, landing campers with hefty COVID-19 fines. The man accused of the homophobic murder of American Scott Johnson in Sydney will remain behind bars for at least a month. His arrest is not only decades in the making, it's a step towards justice for his family and an entire community.
For years, police dismissed Scott Johnson's murder, killed during a shameful time in Sydney's history when gay men were attacked for sport. But today, an apology and recognition.
I do think the plight of young, particularly gay men in Sydney, probably around the world, was a very difficult one. And not only were they let down by police, I think they were let down by the community.
It was December 10, 1988, and the American national had that day completed his PhD in mathematics before he was forced off the cliff at Manly's North Head.
And the murder of Scott Johnson was offensive in so many ways. It was offensive because he was a man who was at the beginning of what could have been a very promising life.
A stolen life that his brother Steve persistently sought justice for, even offering $1 million of his own money to match the state government's reward for information, which in the last 24 hours has proven to be key to the arrest of 49-year-old Scott White.
The one witness on conviction that would be eligible for part of the reward.
And it seems it wasn't just the Johnsons who were waiting for this arrest, given the now accused murderer's reaction.
It wasn't one of surprise.
With White remaining behind bars for the immediate future, police hope this arrest will give the 400 families of victims of cold case murders hope that justice can be served.
Please know that New South Wales Police will never give up on you.
At least, not anymore. Kimberly Pratt for 10 News First.
A truck driver has been arrested after a road rage incident nearly ended in catastrophe. Police released this terrifying dash cam showing a ute trying to overtake a truck in the breakdown lane on the Hume Highway. Both were travelling at 100 kilometres an hour. Authorities are appealing for help to locate the other driver. Some very rare and cute visitors to the Gold Coast have been returned to the wild with help from SeaWorld. But loggerhead turtles hatching so far south has raised concerns for an already endangered species.
Back where they belong. Just days old, loggerhead turtles delivered to the East Australian Current off the Gold Coast to give them the best chance of survival.
They're obviously a few days behind the rest of the hatchlings, but it's also just so they can go straight out into that current and start their natural life.
More than 40 of the endangered species were spotted on Tugun Beach last Thursday morning after hatching in the dunes. Normally, up to 120 young can emerge in one night and follow the moon out to sea. Light pollution from buildings, though, can disorient them and lead them to danger.
The kids picked them up and turned them around and sent them back out again.
35 were collected and helped to the water's edge. Some didn't survive. Those that did became targets for onlookers keen to capture the moment.
Please leave them alone. If you are taking photos, please no selfies and do not touch those individuals.
7 were taken into the care of SeaWorld, where they've been rehabilitating since last week. Today, they were released into the open ocean to begin their long journey to their natural habitat.
Loggerhead turtles are not known to nest south of Great Barrier Reef, so this particular female that has nested on Tugun Beach has come a real decent way south.
Under threat from fishing and habitat destruction, the turtles are facing an uphill battle. These hatchlings tip the scales at just 14 grams. If they survive, they could grow to 120 kilograms and live to 50.
To see that is just absolutely magnificent. It's something to happen like that.
Matthew Howard for 10 News First.
Such tiny little creatures, let's hope they survive that next journey.
Absolutely beautiful creatures.
Big step. Well, it is sport time now, Jono. The Titans' anti-vax duo have support from an important source.
Yeah, they certainly do. Still have support, at least public support of their teammates, Georgie. Thank you. However, coming up, club captain may be backing his players, but their time to make a final decision is running out. That's next. Also, Sun CEO Mark Evans reacts to the AFL's coach's cull, and they both might be over 50, but are we looking at a third Tyson v Holyfield fight?
With so many deliciously easy recipes to try, you'll never get bored when there's pork on your fork.
If you're missing hugs, we've got the next best thing, 6:30.
Someone has taken my baby.
The police have made the call to release this CCTV footage.
Well, that's a good thing, right?
We don't want her to panic.
The secret she keeps tonight.
1, 2, 3, 4. So clap it back. Hey, clap, clap. So clap it back. Hey, I'm getting you right back. 'Cause you're not gonna stand around living like that. So clap it back. Clap it. Clap, clap. Alright. So clap it back. Hey, hey.
Centrum provides multiple health benefits in just one tablet. Centrum, complete from A to Zinc.
The Chemist Warehouse May Money Savers catalogue is out now with half-price big brand vitamins. Get Blackmore's, Swiss, Caruso's, Henry Bloom's half price. Or BioGland, Nature's Own and Go Healthy, all half price. Nature's Way, Lifespace, Synovus, Nutrilife, half price. And Wagner and Microgenics, half price. Plus find more half-price big brand vitamins in-store or online. So for half-price vitamins, shop at Chemist Warehouse and stop paying too much.
Do it, baby.
It's on, mate.
Make this Saturday one to remember. Get best tote on all exotics on every race across all Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane and Adelaide races. PointsBet.
Suncorp has been supporting Queenslanders through life's ups and downs for over 100 years. And while 2020 is proving to be one of the toughest yet, we're here to support our customers more than ever. So, if you're a Suncorp customer in need of financial support, visit suncorp.com.au. Supporting you when you need it most. That's the Suncorp spirit.
Huddling at home? Try Domino's new Chicken Parmesan Deep Pan. With 22 succulent chicken pieces and crispy rasher bacon from just $15 delivered. Order now with total peace of mind thanks to zero contact delivery from Domino's.
We all like open plan designs, but sometimes wouldn't it be nice to zone off areas for a home theatre, study area or an occasional bedroom? Come and see Zone Living Solutions at a Doors Plus near you. Doors Plus, no fuss.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of craving something that I can't have. I finally found the right snack.
Do it, baby.
It's on, mate.
Make this week one to remember. Run second, third or even fourth and get money back in bonus up to $50 on selected races every day. PointsBet.
Lendy is helping thousands of households save on average about $2,832 in interest over the next year on their home loans. That's millions in savings for Aussies when they need it most. How can Lendy help you save?
It's the Mystery Box with a twist.
No! What the hell?
Tonight on 10.
Welcome back. The Titans anti-vax duo have found an ally in club captain Ryan James, who's called their decision brave. That's despite the club's stance. They want a decision by tomorrow on whether they'll have the injections or risk not being paid.
The vaccination debate has become a heavy issue for the Titans.
You've got to, take everyone as they are, and you can't treat everyone the same, and everyone isn't the same. Everyone are different people and have different beliefs.
But the clock is ticking for Bryce Cartwright and Brian Kelly. The club's imposed deadline to get inoculated lapses tomorrow. Their injured captain standing by them, even if it escalates into a legal battle.
It'd be brave of them. Not too many people are willing to fight for what they believe in, and you can't diss anyone for doing what they believe in.
But it might cost the Titans and the rest of the competition, with Queensland home games potentially shifting south to allow those without flu shots to play and avoid state government requirements.
Those players just wouldn't be able to play in Queensland. I don't know how it would work, but I don't think you would be able to take those games away from Queensland because and you don't get any home games.
They're not the only club struggling with the issue. The Raiders unsure if their unvaccinated trio should have to put the team first.
They put a lot of work in my body with beer and stuff like that, so I ain't really one of them commenting, so I'll leave it to them, mate. It's their personal choice.
While there's greater concern at South Sydney following James Roberts' latest admission into rehab.
I'm very proud of James and what he's done. He realised the situation he was in, and he's reached out for help, and we're very happy that he's getting the help that he's needed.
And New South Wales Police have caught up with Nathan Cleary, fining him $1,000 for breaching social distancing laws 2 weeks after lying about the circumstances of a TikTok video. Meanwhile, Josh Adokar plans to fight his fines after his infamous camping trip in Taree. Veronica Eggleton for 10 News First.
Sun CEO Mark Evans has confirmed the flu jab directive applies to all Queensland-based AFL players as well. It's one of many concerns for the code as they look for a restart, with the culling of football departments also underway.
As the lockdowns are relaxed, the coach culling is hitting home. After wrestling with the prospect for weeks, football departments across the league have been gutted from around 50 to just 25.
You know, in a quiet moment, I'm sure the coaches are thinking some outbreak in the Northern Hemisphere has now really hit home, because the show's going on with a smaller headcount, and it's devastating, and we all feel dreadfully for the coaches that are looking for a job.
State league programs and development arms will be hit the hardest. Coaches' boxes across the league set to shrink as footy starts a skeleton life with no frills.
Hopeful and expecting that next year's headcount is different, but I've got no real line of sight on it beyond anyone else.
The majority of redundant coaches were former players just making their way. What appeared to be a smooth road into life after footy, taking an abrupt and unexpected turn.
The circumstance they find themselves in is that there's likely to be a glut of coaches, and lots of other people, very good people, are in looking for a job as well.
Footy's flu jab debate is getting messy. The league and star players are reluctant to say it's no jab, no play.
I think it's reasonable that everyone has their right to do or do not.
But the Queensland government has made it non-negotiable for every NRL player in the state, and the Suns have heard the message.
All of our players so far have had their flu shot. I think there might be a couple still to go. Some players that were in Victoria that have returned here missed that initial time frame, but that should be done by the end of today.
Nick Butler for 10 News First.
It seems unlikely Dan Ricciardo will take over from Sebastian Vettel at Ferrari from next year. With the German confirming his departure overnight, Ricciardo's former Red Bull teammate Max Verstappen is tipping McLaren's Carlos Sainz Jr. to join Ferrari.
Who do you think's most likely? Someone with an Italian-sounding name, or someone with a Spanish name?
I think it's not going to be the Italian-sounding name.
Okay, interesting.
So let's see. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a guess, so we'll have to wait and see.
It's likely to set off a game of musical chairs. If Sainz gets the seat, Ricciardo could take over at McLaren next season, with his Renault contract running out this year. Motor racing legend Mick Doohan says Space Invaders is the only computer game he's played, but competitive instincts will kick in when he takes on Bathurst and a host of celebrities in a Supercars E-Series challenge on Monday. The 5-times world motorcycle champion will line up against the likes of Toby Price and Jack Riewoldt.
I had a lot of fun there. You know, when you were young, you didn't really sort of understand the consequences of hitting the wall around the place like that. So, you know, in a car today, even on a computer screen, it seems quite dangerous.
Mick has been getting tips from his son Jack, who has already had his turn in a Supercars E-Series. The competition tonight features F1 ace Lando Norris, Craig Lowndes, Will Power and Garth Tander as guest drivers. Coverage tonight on 10 Play. Heavyweight boxer Evander Holyfield is out to prove he's still the real deal. Momentum is building towards a rematch between the former world champ and Mike Tyson. If their training videos are anything to go by, Holyfield may need to pick up the pace before stepping in the ring again with Iron Mike. Still at 57, it's clear Holyfield can still pack a punch. Now here's everything we've been missing about sport. Team mascots, fans and players turning stadiums into dance floors. First pitches not even coming close to hitting the mark, and of course a crowd catch.
Well hit by Su Zijie, and this one's gone.
So for giving us a brief taste of everything we want back in our lives, all those involved with baseball in Taiwan can share our play of the day. Hopefully, Georgie, we're edging closer to sport coming back here in Australia as well.
Let's hope so. I love the dancing mascots.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jono. Showers are on the forecast. Josh has all the details after the break.
Calls for the flawed JobKeeper subsidy to be cut short. Next.
It looks like a nice and easy mystery box.
There's nothing unusual.
But don't be fooled.
There will be a twist. There will be a twist.
You're joking.
No.
What the hell?
The mystery box twist tonight on 10. Then the biggest twist of all.
Katy Perry! Let's go!
7:30 tomorrow.
It's a difficult time for Aussie families. We can't change what's happening, but we can bring you something fresh and tasty. And when we do, you'll know that your family is helping ours. So thank you, from our family to yours.
This Saturday with Sportsbet at 3 tracks for races 1 to 6. Finish second or third and get up to $50 back in bonus bets.
So be as responsibly with Sportsbet. We'll be watching.
Today, parents face constant judgment. But none of that matters. Because when your baby is happy and healthy, you know your way is the right way. So you can feel as comfortable in your skin as your baby's skin feels in Huggies nappies.
It must be love, love, love. Nothing more, nothing less.
Huggies. Be comfortable in your skin.
At Nature's Own, we know that fatigue can be either physical or mental. Nature's Own sleep and energy range can help you improve the quality of your sleep or support energy production throughout your day.
Your body talk!
Nature's Own. Be body smart.
Queensland, our strong health response to COVID-19 means we're well positioned for a strong economic response. We've already lifted some restrictions, but our road to recovery will take time. And while a return to work will be phased, supporting our economy starts now with infrastructure investment, tax relief packages, and all of us supporting local business. For more information, visit the COVID-19 website. Let's work together and back Queensland jobs. Authorised by the Queensland Government, Brisbane.
A healthy microbiome is a diverse microbiome. So LifeSpace Daily Probiotics contain up to 15 strains of beneficial bacteria to support yours through every stage of life. We can all be living innovation. Save 20% on your second policy when you buy new eligible Suncorp home and car insurance together before July 10. Helping you save when you need it most. That's the Suncorp spirit.
This Saturday with Sportsbet at 3 tracks for races 1 to 6. Finish second or third and get up to $50 back in bonus bets.
So be as responsibly with Sportsbet. We'll be watching.
Aldi's 1.5 kilo pack of honey soy chicken drumsticks is now only $6.99. Aldi, good, different.
He made us laugh as henpecked Brett on Kath and Kim.
What are you getting the second bite in this?
You've been crazy. Now Peter Rosethorn's comedy career is on ice because of coronavirus, but he's found a unique way to keep Aussies smiling. Find out how tomorrow on Studio 10.
It is weather time, Josh. The chance of a shower tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right, Georgie. We'll be favouring those coastal areas once again, but certainly a chance across parts of Brisbane, and we'll look at that extended forecast in just a few moments. Firstly, today, well, it was pretty good out there. A little bit of a mixed bag, if you like. Bit of sunshine, a little bit of cloud cover, and those temperatures are right on average for this time of year, hitting 24 degrees in the city this afternoon after an overnight low of 16. A little bit cooler this morning further west again. Ipswich dropping down to around about 8 degrees. Right now, very comfortable comfortable. 20 degrees in the CBD, humidity at 59%, and the winds are light at 7 kilometres per hour. Diving into the satellite picture, we've got quite a bit of high cloud moving across inland and southern Queensland. That's associated with a trough of low pressure. And in contrast to that, we've got that grey murky image just hugging the Queensland coast, and that is some low cloud that's coming in on some onshore winds in off the Coral Sea. Further south, we've had a frontal system pass through southeastern Australia, and in behind it, some very cold air affecting parts of South Australia, Victoria, southern New South Wales and Tasmania. But closer to home, those showers again today skirted the coastline, as you can see on screen. We did get some shower development across the southern downs this afternoon. You'll see that pop up just now on the left-hand side of your screen. Not too many rain gauges in this part of Queensland, although a couple of millimetres falling today around parts of the Gold Coast. In fact, Oxenford picked up around about 7 millimetres into the rain gauge. Moving into the big picture tomorrow, we've still got our trough of low pressure through inland parts of Queensland. We'll see some cloud development along that as we get through tomorrow. Onshore winds still a feature for the Queensland coast, and we've got another high pressure system muscling on in over southeastern Australia. And as this tracks eastward over the coming days, it will start to strengthen, and again we'll see those onshore winds start to pick up for the Queensland coast. And as a result of that, we should see an increase in shower activity through the back end of this week. However, tomorrow, again, showers will be a feature along the east coast, in particular around areas of the northeast tropical coast, so Cairns or just southwards around the Cassowary coast, certainly a chance tomorrow. And there's also the chance of a shower and even a light thunderstorm over parts of the central and southern inland, thanks to an upper level trough moving across southern Queensland and beginning to strengthen as we get through Thursday. So we'll certainly be keeping an eye on that. Moving interstate and heading further south to Sydney, we're looking at a chance of a shower tomorrow, tops of 18 degrees. A coolish start in Melbourne, down to 7 overnight, 15 through the afternoon. Some early frost for Canberra, down to 3 degrees first thing in the morning, and 16 the top for Adelaide. Should be partly cloudy for Hobart tomorrow, topping out at the same mark, 16 for Thursday, and a top of 26 for Perth, fine and sunny skies on the way. As mentioned, the chance of a shower tomorrow for Cairns, even stretching across the adjacent inland to the Atherton Tablelands. Should be a dry day for Longreach though, 29 degrees, topping out at 25 for Roma after an overnight low of 7, and a dry day on the way for Rocky, Bundaberg, Maryborough and Gympie. Into the southeast we roll, partly cloudy skies for Thursday, the medium chance of showers from late morning and the slight chance of a weak storm in the afternoon or evening. Overnight temperatures falling to between 9 and 14 degrees, with daytime temperatures reaching the low to mid-20s. We're going for a top of 25 at the Gold Coast, 24 on the sunny coast, with a chance of a shower tomorrow. Out on the bay, we've got southeasterly winds, 10 to 15 knots through the early part of the afternoon, and the seas below 1 metre. For Brisbane City, we're looking at a top of 25, a shower or two on the way. That is one above average for this time of year. It will be relatively short-lived. We're looking at a fine and sunny day for Friday, topping out at 24, and a nice weekend on the way for Saturday and Sunday. As those winds tend more onshore next week, the chance of showers will certainly increase. 26 degrees for Ipswich tomorrow, 25 Friday, and a dry weekend on the way at this stage. The extended forecast of the Golden Sunshine Coast coming up shortly.
A new crisis facing Queensland, thousands of jobs on the line as 3 abattoirs across the southeast get caught up in Australia's beef with China. Cosy communications, text messages between dumped Deputy Jackie Trad and an Education Department executive are exposed. And campers caught out on a North Queensland island getaway as councils get new powers to enforce COVID rules. The panic has spread today over the threat of an all-out trade war with China. Beijing is upset that Canberra is demanding to know the full story behind how COVID-19 started, and Queensland jobs are caught right in the middle.
There's trouble in the cattle towns. A quarter of Australian beef exports go straight to China. Much of that trade is now blocked over what the Chinese claim publicly is a hygiene issue.
The economy would be devastated.
But the only dirt is in the politics.
Our farmers and exporters certainly haven't done anything wrong there.
The Trade Minister has been busily playing down any link between China's sudden concern with our beef hygiene and their far louder concerns at Australia's demand for a full international inquiry into the origins of the coronavirus pandemic.
Chinese officials say both privately and publicly that these are unconnected matters.
But China previously warned of retaliation. And its foreign ministry now accuses Australia of using the epidemic to damage international cooperation. Our grain industry, wine, seafood and others fear a full-on trade war.
This is really serious.
Australia is not backing down, nor is the US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. He's been on the phone to Foreign Minister Marise Payne, reinforcing the need for the rule of law, transparency and accountability. And adding a little Queensland fuel to the fire, the federal MP George Christensen. He's demanding China's ambassador to Australia front the Parliamentary Trade Committee that Christensen chairs to explain himself. The opposition says it's time people calm down.
It'd be pretty handy if we heard more from the Foreign Minister and less from people like George Christensen.
The government and the opposition agree on the need for an independent global inquiry, but weakening the Prime Minister's position is his refusal to release under Freedom of Information laws the briefings he received in January as the virus crisis was looming up out of nowhere.
By you're asking the Chinese government to be very open, yet the Prime Minister, or in fact PM and the C, are refusing to publicly release what happened here in Australia. Can you see the hypocrisy in that?
I see no hypocrisy with that whatsoever.
It is a gift to China at a time when all we want to send them is our exports. Hugh Riminton for 10 News First.
Brendan Savage joins us now from Kilcoy. Brendan, residents there are very nervous.
Yes, the people who rely on the meat works here have really become pawns in a much larger game being played by China, which is a little ironic given that the abattoir here at Kilcoy has significant Chinese investment. As you'd imagine, the community isn't too pleased that one of the region's largest employers is being squeezed in this way. All 4 affected plants are securing market alternatives for their products, but if this situation drags on, unions fear it could mean job cuts, and it could affect the whole supply chain, including the feedlots that produce the cattle. The suspensions are a big concern for the industry as they basically stop beef from these plants being exported to China until these technical breaches are remedied. The Premier has written to both the PM and the Trade Minister calling for a swift resolution.
These are international issues, and I would just urge the federal government to please sort these issues out as quickly as possible.
We're going to keep doing everything we possibly can.
Everybody here in Kilcoy is hoping that they can resolve this issue sooner rather than later, because this is a headache the town simply does not need. Things are tough enough already.
Thank you, Brendan, live there at Kilcoy. We have some breaking news now, with the Queensland government set to make a play for Virgin. In his first move as Treasurer, Cameron Dick has appointed a team to work on a bid to secure the airline. Virgin went into administration last month, crippled by the corona pandemic, with debts of almost $7 billion. Staff remain stood down while a buyer for the besieged company is found. Submissions on the sale close next month. Text messages between Jackie Trad and an Education Department executive have been exposed. The opposition claims the communication was cosy and insists there's more to it than meets the eye. Here's John Paul Gonzo.
These messages don't relate to the recruitment of a new school principal, which is the subject of the Crime and Corruption Commission's investigation. But the opposition says the texts from April 2019 show that Jackie Trad and the senior education official had close contact because the former Deputy Premier signed off one message with "Thank you, X."
The text messages that we have seen shows a very cosy relationship. When you put a little cross at the end of your text message, that'll give a fair indication that you're very close to that human being.
It was the opposition who made this right to information request and released the messages. However, some have been redacted, entire sections blacked out for confidentiality. Deb Frecklington wants to know why sensitive matters were being discussed.
What was being discussed in relation to budget considerations? What was being discussed that was subject to Cabinet confidentiality?
I don't know the circumstances there, Josh, so they're matters for her.
pressure is still mounting on Grace to explain what she knew about the recruitment of the new principal. Today, the Premier backed her minister, saying she stands by Grace.
A group of campers has been fined for breaking isolation restrictions. They were found on Brisk Island off Townsville. 2 of the 4 men are West End residents, meaning they were around 1,500 kilometres too far from home. All of the islands in the Palm Island Council area are designated biosecurity zones, so are off limits entirely during lockdown. Council workers will be out in force over the weekend, helping to ensure COVID-19 restrictions are met when restaurants and cafes reopen. Councils say they're keen to play their part in the economic recovery, but there are fears workers could be put at risk.
It's the reawakening we've been waiting for weeks. An easing of restrictions across the state at midnight on Friday will see restaurants, cafes and beauty salons begin to reopen under strict conditions. Police are preparing for a busy weekend, enforcing the 10-person limit on gatherings. Now councils have been recruited to help rein in rule breakers.
The Queensland Chief Health and Medical Officer, Dr. Jeanette Young, has passed on her special powers. She's delegated those to local government in this instance.
Council's role will primarily be to educate small businesses and help those in breach of the regulations to remedy the situation.
Well, the Queensland Police Service has powers that we do not have in terms of arrest, moving people on.
But make no mistake, council officers will be able to issue infringement notices to people not towing the line.
If need be, we will be issuing fines. The fines will be the same fines the state imposes, $1,300.
And they don't have the training to deal with the public and also to give directions. And you're opening up the council workers to potential violence.
The Local Government Association admits the extra responsibility does come with challenges for councils, including the cost of additional staffing, with much of the work being carried out on weekends and outside of regular business hours.
All the mayors I've spoken to say yes, it's going to be an extra burden on them, but they want to be part of the recovery and get things moving as fast as we can.
Samantha Butler for 10 News First.
Coming up, winter woes, how the next couple of months could undo all our hard work beating corona. Plus, Brisbane's new runway passes a major mock emergency with flying colours. And Damien Cook throws his support behind teammate James Roberts.
Tensions escalate, but can we afford to lose China as a trade partner? Plus, how COVID-19 has turned delivery drivers into unsung heroes.
Introducing BP Rewards. Now you can earn points with every BP purchase.
BP Rewards.
Use BP points to spend in store.
BP Rewards.
Or get dollars off fuel.
BP Rewards. BP Rewards.
Or you can choose to earn Qantas points.
Now that's what I call BP Rewards. Totally BP Rewards.
Start earning today. BP Rewards. Your rewards, your way.
Go on.
At Devondale, we believe great milk comes from cows that graze free.
Dear mind, you're so good at caring for everyone else. But caring for you is important too. So take time to lose yourself in a book. And in the moment, learn something new. But above all, be kind to yourself. All my love, me.
Create a healthier relationship with your mind. Learn more at qld.gov.au/mental wellbeing. Authorised by the Queensland Government, Brisbane.
With Light and Easy, you can enjoy delicious, healthy meals with the safety of their contactless delivery service. In fact, Light and Easy has recently been rated Australia's #1 healthy meal delivery service for customer satisfaction. Order today.
It was a Skype call back home. Nani just came out with it. Where is your beautiful hair gone?
Thanks, Nani.
Reached your turning point? The doctors at Ashley and Martin could help regrow your hair.
What if I get coronavirus?
How do I do my rehab now?
Why is it so hard to get out of bed? COVID-19 is impacting us all differently, which is why we've introduced Medibank COVID-19 Health Assist. With direct access to hundreds of healthcare experts, eligible members can receive health advice and support from their homes at no extra cost. Visit medibank.com.au to see how we're providing better support for our members.
Huddling at home? Try Domino's new Chicken Palmy on Deep Pan. With 22 succulent chicken pieces and crispy rasher bacon from just $15 delivered. Order now with total peace of mind thanks to zero contact delivery from Domino's.
Go ahead, give your taste buds a thrill and think beyond the flame and grill. Sausage bake, rolled, pan-fried or in a stew. You'll love all the things our sausages can do. The British Sausage, Ham and Bacon Company. Australian made, the British way.
Where's the baby?
The police are looking for him.
Who stole him?
Somebody who was very lonely because they couldn't have a baby. Do you want to say hello to your little boy?
He looks like me.
My baby could be anywhere. Do something about it.
The police have made the call to release this CCTV footage to the media.
Well, that's a good thing, right?
We don't want her to panic.
The secrets she keeps tonight after MasterChef.
With little known about COVID-19, Australian health authorities are concerned about what impact the colder months will have on the virus. The Chief Medical Officer has warned winter could very well undo our early success.
As the leaves and temperatures start to fall, health authorities are facing their next coronavirus challenge.
We don't know exactly how this virus behaves in sort of temperature and climate. We don't know what the effect of winter will have. It's one of the things we're concerned about in Australia.
Particularly as restrictions start to ease.
Is there a trigger for which restrictions will come back in?
There is no one trigger. Well, total case numbers is not necessarily a trigger. It's the capacity to control the outbreaks that's the defining thing that we're watching.
Which is why even an innocent coughing fit will see you sent straight to the doctor.
We're testing hopefully every Australian who might get a cough in the House of Representatives or any other situation.
The Treasurer was back today having tested negative to COVID-19. Global health authorities believe the worst of the pandemic is still to come, which is why Aussies won't be going on any overseas holidays anytime soon.
I cannot see border measures. They'll be one of the last things to go, international border measures.
The government is staying glass half full.
In times of adversity, Australians often shine, and I think we've absolutely seen that this year.
With the success that Australians have been able to achieve.
The JobKeeper package, according to Ashley Malcolm, has helped save their business.
But while the Parliament practices social distancing, the gloves are off. The opposition zeroing in on problems with the package and resuming attacks over the sports rort scandal.
The only authority sought from the Prime Minister's office and from myself, Mr Speaker, was in relation to announcements.
4 months on and still so many questions. Tegan George for 10 News First.
It's not even open yet, but Brisbane Airport's new second runway has had its first emergency. Thankfully, it was all a training exercise to put first responders through their paces.
No one died, nothing is burned, but critical emergency teams got the training drill they were looking for.
Usually we'd have, 100 role players in attendance to simulate that real-time event.
The event, a fiery plane crash at the airport's new second runway. On board, 156 passengers and 8 crew. Police can't get to the scene straight away.
Unfortunately, the normal way that we would go is blocked by debris.
But the fire brigade can.
Quickest time from here to a crash site, we will do it under 3 minutes.
Dealing with injured and dazed passengers until paramedics arrive.
Over to the grass! Everybody over to the grass!
fires out at the moment.
Yeah, it's all been extinguished. The area is safe to come in.
Emergency response teams don't like surprises, but the sheer size of the new runway provided the couple.
I think the distances, like you said, and the isolation is what surprised me the most from today.
But what we want to see today is the command control coordination through our agencies.
These first responders know they can't waste this opportunity to put their training to the test during this simulation, knowing that it's the first and last exercise of its type before the new runway opens in mid-July. Mistakes were made and lessons learned.
But the good thing from this is that we will be able to adjust from the learnings from today and make any amendments to our planning.
To get it right for when lives might depend on it.
Do our job properly when required, and what comes out of it we can only improve on.
Tim Collins for 10 News First.
Jono's back now with another look at sport.
Thank you, Georgie. Hello again. Police have caught up with Panther Nathan Cleary after he was found out lying to the NRL's integrity unit. He's been fined for the TikTok scandal that just won't go away.
A dance Nathan Cleary will never forget for all the wrong reasons. The Panthers star originally escaped a fine because he said these girls came to his house. Turns out he lied. He left home to see them, so police have now fined him $1,000. That's on top of the NRL's punishment, $30,000 and 2 matches. Josh Addo-Carr will fight his fines for breaking social distancing rules. Still facing firearms charges, the Fox copped a $1,000 fine from police and $20,000 from the NRL for that camping trip with Latrell Mitchell. The Storm star will argue he was on private property and had extenuating circumstances.
The penalty imposed against our client on a number of fronts is clearly disproportionate to the conduct that is said to have taken place.
Meantime, the Bunnies have thrown their arms around James Roberts, who checked into rehab for a 3rd time.
I'm not too worried about the James Roberts, the football player at the moment. He can take as much time as he needs before he needs to come back, and once he comes back he'll be welcome with open arms, and he's a big part of this side, so I'll be happy whenever he's ready to come back.
Anti-vaxxers Bryce Cartwright and Brian Kelly are apparently considering legal action. They could be rubbed out for the rest of the season if the Queensland government stands firm on the flu shot.
It'd be brave of them. Not too many people are willing to fight for what they believe in, and you can't diss anyone for doing what they believe in.
Emma Lawrence for 10 News First.
Gold Coast Chief Executive Mark Evans believes scratch matches could be on the cards to help keep listed players game ready. Evans admitted he's already discussed the prospect with the Brisbane Lions.
Going into round one, we had some discussions with Brisbane around some opportunities for the players who weren't selected in the AFL team to potentially do some match simulation. And we'll take that discussion back to Brisbane in the coming days.
Both the Suns and Lions have revealed every player on their lists either has or will receive the flu shot in accordance with government advice. Chris Hemsworth's upcoming documentary is sure to shine a light on the little-known sport of underwater hockey, but administrators are facing some major challenges due to the timing of COVID-19.
There's few sports on planet Earth as tough as underwater hockey. But with July's Gold Coast World titles pushed back a full 12 months, competitors will need to be more resilient than ever.
Which is devastating for our support crew and I guess for all of the athletes that are currently trying and training.
So a lot of people, 400 or 500 competitors coming across.
That's a lot of international flights that need rescheduling, but organisers are still looking at the positives.
And hopefully everything settles down and all the athletes get an extra, couple of months under their belt to train.
It'll be Queensland's second turn at hosting. The first was Brisbane, 1982, 12 years after it first hit our shores. The city's first match captured in these rare images at Musgrave Park Pool. Back then it was called Octopush, played with longer sticks.
It's now evolved down to underwater hockey with a much shorter plastic stick.
On the Gold Coast, Catherine Howard isn't just the chief organiser of the world event. She'll be representing Australia also.
Kate is an incredible fullback in the sport, so the sort of last woman in defence.
If you thought it was all a bit rough, its cousin underwater rugby has been described as a bit like wrestling in space.
It's a kind of basketball or European handball,
with a bit of contact.
Both are holding their breath as they wait for their beloved sports to return.
You're either going to love it or hate it, and if you love it, you will love it for forever.
Josh McLean for 10 News First.
Hopefully we can get back away normal soon, George.
Well, let's hope so. Thanks, Jono. Coming up, Josh has the latest on the forecast showers for the southeast.
It looks like a nice and easy mystery box.
There's nothing unusual.
But don't be fooled.
There will be a twist. There will be a twist.
You're joking.
No.
What the hell?
The mystery box twist tonight on 10.
At UE, we're all about how you use or don't use your car. So we're giving our clients and new clients temporary relief on their car insurance premiums if they're using their cars less right now. Go to UE.com.au. UE. You insured.
A third-generation butcher, born and bred. Pop's traditional recipes fill his head. His award-winning sausages are so sublime, you can enjoy these beauties anytime. The British Sausage, Ham and Bacon Company. Australian-made the British way.
The COVID-19 crisis brings unprecedented internet traffic over the NBN network. To help support Australia during this time, we currently offer internet providers up to 40% increased network capacity. Our technicians remain on the ground wherever they're needed. And we're sharing updated tips to help you get more from your home setup. To find out more, visit nbn.com.au/response.
At Drake's, the health of our customers and team is paramount. That's why we've partnered with Academy Services to use NanoSan, a natural spray that kills 99.9% of pathogens. Drake's are committed to providing our customers with a safe shopping environment.
There's a glass and a half in everyone.
Australia's Gary Flynn went into the 200-metre wheelie bin final, the rank outsider. What happened next made elite average games history.
Quickly into the bend. Oh no! The Dutchman's hit the deck. There's a pile-up. Call the council. Flynn's hit the front. Our man's going to win. Gold for Australia. Have some of that.
Incredible! They'll make TV ads out of this, JB.
Another make-it-look easy moment from Sportsbet.
Building, renovating, extending, Carpet Call has you covered for all of your flooring and blinds needs. There's carpet, timber, laminate, hybrid, vinyl, rugs, and even made-to-order shutters and blinds for every situation. And at Carpet Call, there's no middleman, just great flooring. So call Carpet Call for Australia's largest supplier of floor coverings at Australia's best prices. Call Carpet Call. We're the experts in the trade.
The experts in the trade.
Up next, the cracks start to show in the government's JobKeeper policy. So will the lifeline be cut short? Could COVID-19 have an unexpected positive impact on society's overall health? And we recognise delivery drivers as tonight's unsung heroes. Project next.
Time now for a final weather check. Josh, a wet day for the coast.
Yeah, those showers should start to pick up through parts of the Golden Sunshine Coast as we get through Thursday, Georgie. We've got an upper level trough moving across southern parts of Queensland. That could amplify those showers as we get through tomorrow. Having a look at the synoptic setup though, we've got another area of high pressure muscling on in over southeastern Australia. This will strengthen over the coming days, and into early next week the winds will tend a little bit more onshore, and as a result we'll see the showers pick up. We've also got a trough low pressure moving across parts of Queensland tomorrow. Now, with that, we do have the slight chance of showers and even a weak thunderstorm developing over the central and southern inland. But showers still be a feature across our eastern areas of the state tomorrow, in particular around areas of the northeast tropical coast, even pushing into the adjacent inland across areas of the Atherton Tablelands. Reflected in the forecast for Atherton tomorrow with 23, 29 the top for Cairns, and hitting the same mark in Townsville. We're going for 27 in Rocky tomorrow. It should be essentially dry for Bundaberg, Maryborough and Gympie, and a coolish start to the morning in Roma, dipping down to 7 degrees overnight. For the southeast, it will be partly cloudy, the medium chance of showers from late morning, and the slight chance of a weak storm in the afternoon and evening. Overnight temperatures falling to between 9 and 14 degrees, with daytime temperatures reaching the low to mid-20s. We're going for 21 at Toowoomba, 25 at Caboolture, and there are those showers forecast for our coastal areas from the sunny coast all the way through Moreton Bay and down to the Gold Coast. In Brisbane City, we're looking at a top of 25 degrees tomorrow, a shower or two, and that is one above average for this time of year. As we look at the forecast over the coming days, it should be a sunny end to the working week Friday with a top of 24, looking very nice indeed. 25 the top over the weekend. It should be dry, and then those showers begin to pick up as we get into Monday and Tuesday next week. Having a look at the forecast for Ipswich, 26 degrees tomorrow, beautiful day on Friday, topping out at 25. The same mark on Saturday and staying dry into Sunday and Monday next week. Now for the Gold Coast, here we go. A shower or two tomorrow with a top of 25 degrees. Then those showers seem to back off on Friday with 24. Chance of a shower on Saturday hitting the same mark, and then dry skies on Friday with 25 degrees. But then next week, as that high pressure system begins to strengthen, as you can see, the percentage increases up to 70% chance of shower activity Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. It'll be much the same for the sunny coast. 24 degrees with a shower or two on Thursday. Chance of a shower Saturday, and then those showers increase for Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday next week. So, Georgie, get that washing onto the line and dry.
Good advice. Thank you, Josh. Well, that is 10 News First for now. For more details on tonight's stories, head to 10 Daily, but stay on 10. The project is next. We'll be back tomorrow at 5. See you then. Good night.
Tonight, Beijing suspends Aussie imports after we called for an investigation into the origins of COVID-19. But is now really the time to start a trade war?
The cracks start to show in the government's JobKeeper policy, so will